Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter. And you guys watching YouTube tonight, we pretty much got half the team. We got Thomas Aarons was fishing the DMV.
Hello.
And tonight in Geek's Place, we got brother Dave Miller back on with us. Dave has become kind of a regular here at Basscast Radio, which is pretty cool. It's come a long way because me and Dave did a podcast together. I was in a campground at a tournament, and we record a live together. And since then, we've had him on a bunch of times. And Dave's going to come on and talk about what's happening in his area. Thomas posted a video the other day. We're going to talk tonight about biology, what's happening to our waterways, and what is going on. And guys, I'm really serious about this. Thomas just dropped a video the other day I saw. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to lie, Thomas. But, talking about chemicals dumped in our waterways and the pesticides killing the grass. You guys all know that happened on Smith Mount Lake many, many years ago. The grass is starting to come back just a little bit. But there's so much happening that affects bass fishing as a whole. I mean, we talk about it all the time here. But enough about me rambling. But guys, for you guys who didn't listen last week, I did record an episode. I told you guys I wasn't going to record an episode Sunday. I just did a little quick episode, and we talked about our latest podcast, and I uploaded one of our latest AI shows. So I think about 150 people listened to that. So thank you all who reached out and listened. We just come off of a holiday, so it has been pretty quiet around here, guys. But we're getting ready to get fired back up. By the time this airs, I've gone to the James River for is it Piedmont this weekend or a Shenandoah? Which one is it? Either way, it don't matter. What is it?
Piedmont, as I just pull that out of my butt real quick, but I'm going to...
It don't matter. It's Piedmont or Shenandoah this weekend, and then the following weekend, it's vice versa. Either way, we'll be back to back on the James River, so excited about that. And I think... I don't want to say this a lie or anything, but I think I'm kind of done till about the end of August. So I could be wrong, but I know we got Rivers and Roads coming up. You guys heard about that the other day. We were talking about that on here, and that's back on the James River again. Basscast Tournament Series kicks back in the fall series part of it. So we're excited about that. But it's it's a dog days of summer.
Hey, Piedmont. I was right. All right.
Okay, cool. As we are recording tonight, it's actually thunder and lightning storms. It's supposed to storm all weekend here in Central Virginia. Thomas, are you getting hit yet? I know it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's coming.
DC, this is crazy, guys. DC earlier had its first tornado watch that I saw. Yeah, a tornado watch up there in DC. So, I mean, yeah, it's been pretty crazy here. And, we've had a lot of 80 and 90 degree heat. Also, one last thing before I throw it over to Thomas here. The Liberty University Bass Fishing Club, you guys all know they've been doing their summer event. The Basscast.com has been sponsoring them. So I encourage you to fish as many as you can. Excuse me. So you can qualify for the championship. The championship winners will get an extra $200 from the basscast.com. So I really want you guys to fish with them. But what I'm saying is please go subscribe to their Facebook page. Please pay attention to the Basscast. Due to the 90-degree water temperature plus on Smith Mount Lake, some of these events have been moved, canceled, etc. I think they're going to still try to do the complete season because you can't go so far because we only have 4, 5, 6 weeks till college starts back up. It's right. I mean, it's crazy. Summer just boom, it's over. So please pay attention to that and keep up with what they have going on there. So enough here. Basscast.com. Like I said, thank you, everyone. Thomas, what's happening in your world, brother?
Just living the dream, guys. Right now I'm basically full-time fishing the DMV while I look for another employer for the day hours. So pumping out content left and right. Just had a great conversation talking about the New River watershed with the biologist talking about the sampling they've done there with the smallmouth, the flathead, and the muskie. Great episode. And then, of course, next week, I guess when this airs, we're going to be live from ICAST. Not me personally, but I have the crew from Jake's Bait and Tackle going down there that we're going to be live streaming in a couple of days. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a live stream from on the water with my Starlink from a undisclosed location that's to be announced later. So pumping out a bunch of different content. Just so go check it out.
Hey, I like what you said there a little while ago. If you guys, the fishing tackle retailer actually did a story on Jake's Bait and Tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can head on over and check that out on the Fishing Tackle Retailer. I think, isn't that what it is? Fishing Tackle Retailer is the one that does the whole iCast thing and all that great stuff. But that was really cool to have someone here. I mean, I know, they're in Virginia, right? They're like right on the edge or something.
I hope so. Yeah. No, they're in Winchester, Virginia, and they actually won the award for like local tackle shop. And so it was a big deal. They came there. They drove in from DC. If you guys don't know, their headquarters in DC. They drove out to Winchester to give them their award and everything. It was a really cool experience for them to do it, because that's something that's dying, is those local tackle shops, sadly.
So yeah, so head on over to FTR. Yeah, and check out the story. And like I said, that was really cool to have them, because I go to their website all the time. And I was like, hey, that's Jake's. What the heck? That's pretty awesome. Because I've been up there and checked that place out. So, and for you guys who don't know, if you become a Patreon member of Thomas's, I don't have no pull there, but you get a little bit of discount. Is that correct, Thomas?
Yep, you get 5% off your orders to Jake's Bait and Tackle, and between you and me, I'm working on getting them up to 10% for next year. So go check them out there. Plus, if you guys know, I liquidized my 401k when I lost my job, got a little extra money, so I'm giving away over $3,500 in cash prizes to the Summer Sizzler tournament. So I am just doubling up everything. Multiple big bass winners, multiple bonus fish members. Tournament starts July 12th and runs through Labor Day weekend. Thanks to Brian for the Bass Cast, who did the Spring Bash Bash, which was an absolute success. Over 1,000 fish caught. People loved it. So if you want tournaments with guaranteed money, because I basically flip the bill. So whether one person joins or 1,000, all the money is guaranteed up front. So go check that out.
I know Brucey said he is ready to go.
And huge shout out to Bruce. I don't know if this was mentioned, but he had a little health scare. I think it was a week ago or whatever. But Bruce, I know you listen to this, but I really hope you feel well, buddy. Please take care of yourself.
Yeah, he had palsy. You know what it's called?
Yeah, but they thought it might be stroke.
Yeah, and he thought he might have had a stroke, and it was just a small. I don't think it was as much as Brandon Card. Right, Card had it, right? Yeah, Card. Sorry, throwing names out here real quick. But yeah, Brandon had it as well. But Bruce said he's feeling great. Just got to get his, the muscles in his face working again. So, he's pumping out content for the basscast.com and for our newsletter. So you guys make sure you head on over and check all that out. All right, Dave Miller, welcome back to the show. Dave lives in the woods and has 12 kids, so he can't go inside. Hey, guys. I'm just kidding about all that. But what's up, brother? Welcome, man.
What's going on, guys? How you guys been?
We have been doing extremely well. Really, really excited about iCast, which is next week. Everyone, excited to see if there will be anything new, interesting, or in the words of another angler, who I will not mention his name, the same old shit.
Yeah, man.
But it's iCast. It's always a great time to see what's happening, what's coming out, and what is unique, and it's right around the corner. So we're excited about that. But what's up with you? What's going on in your world, man?
Not much. Just doing a lot of guiding, and going to be leaving here to come down your guys' way next week. The following week is the Bassmaster Open on the Chesapeake Bay.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to getting down there, hitting that title that I love. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, Danielle asked, was I going to go? And I said, I wish I could take the time off. It's not that I don't have it. I have a new employee, so I can't really take the time off. But I would like to, because it is I think it's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday event. It's not a Saturday. It's like during the middle of the week, and that kind of sucks. But it's good because you'll have most of the lake to yourself, most of the water, the river to yourself.
well, and all everybody in the tournament, but
Well, yeah, but you won't have all the all the regular boat traffic.
yeah.
So that'd be pretty freaking cool. How has the talk to us about the opens, man? How have the opens been for you and the transition for you back to the opens this year?
Um, well, it was back to bass. This is my first year actually officially doing the opens.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
it was, I was like, 'cause I've been on state teams and
yeah,
doing the local Bass Nation deal for a long time, but the getting back to bass and doing the opens feels great. I really like the camaraderie. Everybody's been great. The tournament trail is kind of like what the heck this year, man. I mean, January we started off at Clarks Hill and got a blizzard. I wasn't expecting snow in Georgia, but we got it. Then the next derb wasn't until April, and that was in Mississippi on the Tom Bigby. And I don't think I would. I mean, it was pretty bad fishery, but I mean, if I had to go back, I might have to. But it's not a no offense to Mississippi. Mississippi was great, but I wasn't crazy about that fishery. But then now here we are in July, and 3 and 4 are back to back. So I leave the bay and drive straight to the St. Lawrence for the next one.
wow,
So it's kind of a weird schedule this year for sure. I'm not used to that. I like having them, like one tournament a month, and then you pick 4 or 5 months, whatever the trail is going to be, and you just have one a month each month. These gaps in between the tournaments, I'm feeling rusty. I did, however, hop in Team Reynolds,
okay,
Reynolds boats, the open on or one of the events on their trail. I fished on Oneida, did pretty good. Had a couple dead ones, gave me some penalties, cost me a check,
that
but
sucks.
it is what it is. But I love Oneida. It was up there, and it felt good to like get the lines wet. Because other than that, it's just been guiding, and it's not doing as much fishing as I'd like to myself. So, but yeah, that's it for me.
People don't understand that part right there. It's either you professionally fish or you're a guide or you run a bass fishing website and you might actually get a chance to fish. There's not too much, it ain't too much, and then you have family and then anything else you do. So it's not too much time there in the middle. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only so many weekends, only so many days, and it's just not there, and it's just the way it goes. Um, I know me and Thomas thought about Thomas researched a little bit that the top lakes came out this week from Bassmaster, and it was pretty daggone interesting. I mean, for one thing, I know Thomas brought up us being in Northern Division for Smith Mount Lake, but we did come in 11th place, like a little further down, but I guess 11th ain't too bad, Thomas.
Yeah, and it's just how do I tactfully put this? It's just interesting when you look at the best lakes in the country, and then you have the friction with the way it's written and then the way it really is. And so what my point with that is, if you look at the best lakes in the country, Clear Lake always comes up as number one. And I always think it's fascinating because when you look at the top lakes and then you Google, it's like, okay, well then where is this Sabine River? Where's this mythical Sabine River on this list? And
Yeah,
it's not there. And so it's like, okay, gotcha. I understand. Like you have to go to where people pay you. But then if your organization is it not about putting the best fishermen on the best lakes 24/7 to show off like big bags, big bass, big dreams? I believe that's the quote of one of these organizations.
it is. Yes,
And
yes.
that's not actually the case because Mille Lacs Lake is always in the top. We're not going to go there. Orange Lake, probably a little bit too small. A couple of places in California. Well, the West doesn't count because we don't like people past the Mississippi River. And so it's just
Yeah,
interesting.
we don't go that way no more.
Exactly. So to me, it's just interesting that you're going to do this huge, massive list, but then 90% of the lakes you're never going to go to. And it's sad because looking at some of these places, I'm realizing like, oh, I didn't even know this place existed. That's pretty cool. And if you had an alien come down and explain bass fishing to them, they would think there's only 7 lakes in this country because they're the same 7 lakes that get beat to hell every year. And you realize we have so many bodies of water that aren't explored, that aren't promoted. And I don't know, that's just an interesting thing that could be a whole conversation in of itself.
we talk about that here, and Dave was bringing up he likes the tournaments once a month, and we have this organization called the National Professional Fishing League, and that's probably one of the most diverse schedules of all of them. Plus, they go later in the year, which we enjoy that tremendously. But speaking of schedules, today dropped the Major League Fishing dropped their schedule today. Hopefully, you guys all have had a chance to check it out. Stage 1 in January, it's Lake Gunnersville. In February, they're going to Lake Hartwell. In March, they're going to Lake Whitney, Lake Waco in Texas, Waco, Texas. The Ohio Ive Lake Brownwood in Earl, Texas. So we got 2 events in Texas this year in 2026. Red Crest is still to be announced, which is kind of sad. I was hoping to get that. In May, they're going to April/May, 1st of May, they're going to Beaver Lake. So heavy hitters will be at Orange Lake in Florida. So back down there, back south. Grand Lake in Grove, Oklahoma in June. And then August, they're going to Sandusky, Ohio for Lake Erie. So they're going to Texas next year. So we haven't heard. That's been a while since we've heard anybody go to Texas.
I mean, they went to Lake Fork for the bass.
That's
Texas
true.
will always be on the schedule for any of the big 3, which is MPFL, Major League Fishing, or bass. Texas will always be on the schedule. To me, it's sad. Like, the White River lakes, they just don't get the love anymore. What happened to those places? Because they were always on the schedule 24/7, and then they disappeared. And the answer to that: money. Like they're not paying anymore. So we're gonna pretend they don't exist anymore. And that to me is like, Lake of the Ozarks, Grand Lake, Bull Shoals, Table Rock. They don't pay, so we're gonna pretend they don't exist. And I don't know, like that to me really just rubs in my craw. Beaver Lake is cool. That's kind of like old is new again because they haven't been to Beaver Lake in gosh knows how long. It's been a while. But again, we're gonna go to Gunnersville again. I mean, you might as well go there in January because they're spraying the hell out of all the grass, so it won't matter in January how dead that place is. So let's just feed them the money. I don't know. It's the one thing I'll give Major League Fishing credit for is I think it's really neat where you go to Florida at a different time of year. Bass will always start the year there and will always end up north. I think it's interesting that they're going to try to mix it up a little bit. Lake Erie, pretty sure, chat, you can help me out when this episode drops. I don't think Major League Fishing's been to Lake Erie specifically before. I could be wrong. Just the MPFL. So that'll be a really, really fun event. Grand Lake will be fun as well. Lake Orange, again, heavy hitters. Another win for Major League Fishing. I like how they have basically one event because it's a smaller field, and they're going to just experiment. We're going to go to different places. So again, win for you guys.
Yeah, with the 50, 55 boat field in 2026. I mean, it is definitely giving them the opportunity to go to smaller lakes, and with the Major League, MPFL, I think like 100 boat field, right around 100 boats. They've had the opportunity as well. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll be getting more schedules, and hopefully soon we'll figure out where Red Crest 2026 will be because the Basscast will be there. So excited about that. Dave, man, we just keep talking here. We're forgetting about you.
Let's here for the ride, buddy.
All right, Dave had a topic and he wanted to talk about it. So we're going to let him run with this topic and we're going to talk about that. And like I said, we could talk about schedules and lakes all night long because, just the way they put the whole damn thing together is amazing. But, we had a talk with Major League Fishing, and you got to understand, we had them on the website. I mean, they said they put up a whiteboard on the wall and spent days just trying to figure this whole thing out with the logistics and the whole 9 yards. So it's so much more than what we all really understand. Hopefully you watched that episode as well. So, but Dave, take away, brother.
Yeah, Connecticut, it's kind of in a pickle. We have the state government doesn't care about the fisheries. The state DEP doesn't care about the fisheries. Recently, a rapper, Chris Webby, shout out Chris Webby. He's from Connecticut. he brought to his fan base the topic of spraying dicot on fisheries, and the Connecticut River was basically the target for hydrilla. At this point, I'm convinced it's whatever the flavor of the week is with any stakeholder regarding fisheries. It's for a couple of years it was milfoil, then for a couple of years it was water chestnut. Now it's hydrilla. So what's the deal here? It's just getting ridiculous. We're beating a dead horse. He started a petition and gathered over 18,000 signatures in a short amount of time. I had started a petition a couple of years ago. I got a few thousand signatures online through change.org, and then I had several thousand more from tackle shop participation.
Right.
When I had presented the information, to some senators and whatnot, they were all gung-ho on doing something about it, and one of them didn't get reelected, and the other one ended up retiring. Senators that took over took their positions, don't really care. When Chris Webby just did this, it brought out all these people out the woodworks from these different organizations that are affiliated with the state government, basically labeling him a conspiracy theorist. Like, oh, we're not putting chemicals in the water. It's harmless herbicides. No. People need to realize regarding fishing is a multi-billion-dollar business, and especially Connecticut has had a very good fishing industry. When you're killing these natural resources of ours, you're significantly hurting the fish populations, the fishing quality, and the fishing business. With the business, you're losing guides. It's harder for guides to put their clients on fish, so it's harder to get the fishing's tougher. the clients might not want to come back, and you see that time and time again with specific lakes, the lakes that do get sprayed more frequently than others. And then they're constantly doing this around the spawn. So there's lakes in Connecticut where you're seeing, consistently either the bigger class fish, and then there's no babies. Like, there's no smaller fish. They're not procreating anymore the way they used to. You could tell by the number of beds. And it's this year I've seen firsthand on several lakes, the spawn was like a mere fraction of what it used to be. The number of beds is astronomical drop in beds on several fisheries here in Connecticut. And it's because of the spraying, the nonstop spraying. Dead turtles, dead birds, dead wildlife. And something else too, that I went down a rabbit hole. I didn't rehearse for this to bring up this aspect of it, but pesticides, because they label herbicides as pesticides. Pesticides have to have some type of secondary kill statement regarding them, right? So if you buy mouse poison for your house, let's say you had mice in your house, they want to make sure that that mouse leaves your house. That rhymed, but the mice that eat the poison, they leave your property,
right?
And a bird comes down and eats the mice. The bird doesn't die. There's no secondary kill. That's not the case with herbicides. So you have a vicious cycle here, and this has actually been documented by two different studies, one in the EU and then one here in the United States, where if you poison the fish, or you don't even have to poison the fish specifically, but the fish are come in contact with that and they happen to die.
Yeah.
If a bird eats the fish, now the bird's going to die because the bird has been poisoned by the dicot that was in the fish. And then the bird dies. Then a raccoon comes over, eats the bird. Now the raccoon dies, and so forth and so on. Then you get, you have so many levels of kills within this one herbicide application, because the herbicide was designed to kill the plants. And the other issue too is they ignore every single study and say they don't exist. They've been given the studies. The native species of plants do not come back. they die. The dicot destroys them. And we have on record, it's been stated numerous times all across the board, every type of publication, that some of these companies that are doing the applications, they're using a proprietary blend. So they're creating their own concoctions. They're not just using dicot straight up with whatever's on the dicot label. That's not what you're going by. You're going by like a combination of several chemicals that they've created, the mixture, to target and destroy everything in its path. So you're having like this crazy amount of poison just being sprayed into our fisheries. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm hands in the air.
Have they stated why they're actually doing it? What's
like
the reason?
It's a flavor of the week thing. They just pick a new plant. This spring in Connecticut, they presented several pieces of legislation targeting hydrilla. They also created a new list and added dozens of native species of plants to this invasive species list. So it's like, okay, well, they got these new chemicals, these new proprietary blends that can target all these new plants. So let's just add these plants to the list. So to give them more reason to spray more chemicals. It's mind-boggling. But yet we're just
homeowners association. Is the homeowner association kind of like behind this? Because that's what happened here on Smith and Mill Lake. They got behind it and said, "Hey, we want the grass gone. We like to be able to swim and get out in the water. So we're just gonna kill the grass." I don't know. I mean, that it happened like years ago.
So like this year, it was Bantam Lake, the homeowners association. All right, well, I could go lake by lake for a few things. Bantam Lake, it was a homeowners association. Lake Lilanona is 3 houses. Lake Zort's 2 houses on the lake. And then the Connecticut River, it's people that just are involved with the river. Like they just have, they appoint themselves as king of the river and they work with the Army Corps of Engineers to be like, hey, we need to eradicate the weeds on the Connecticut River. And I talked to another guide today, a friend of mine. And he said, dude, he was like, not for nothing. There is like a couple creeks on the Connecticut River that do get that do get pretty choked out for with the hydrilla, but at what expense? Like, are you going to risk the fishery now? Or how much chemical do you want to put in? But he said there was a couple creeks, but I fished the Connecticut River probably a dozen times in the past 3 months, and I don't even think I saw hydrilla. But the coves that I fished and the creeks that I fished, they said are choked out with hydrilla. I don't even remember seeing hydrilla. I saw milfoil here and there.
Yeah.
But it's like they're throwing darts at the wall just to see how much chemical they could possibly spray into the rivers and lakes. And we're seeing this in other states too. There's a couple other states that there's major problems with spraying. But Connecticut, it's just like, what are we doing here? When there's so many natural alternatives and non-toxic alternatives. Like if I had a house on a lake, say I had a house on Lake Lilanona, it's one of my favorite fisheries in the state, I probably wouldn't really want a bunch of weeds around my dock either. I got 4-year-old and 1-year-old. I want to jump in and swim with them, maybe, but I'm going to opt for the mat, the rubber mat, put that down. Their thing is like, well, who's going to maintain the mat? Well, in the next winter drawdown, instead of taking that money and paying the chemical company, take that money and pay somebody to come out and clean your mat off or buy a shovel. Like, I have no problem if like 1 or 2 houses on the lake want to put down a rubber mat around their dock. Go for it. Knock your socks off. As long as you're not spraying chemicals. And this other thing too is funny. Back in the spring when all these people were lobbying for the hydrilla warfare, essentially, there was people that were previously for the pesticides that were with DEP that have now come out like, hey, look, we're seeing these new blends that they're doing. They're combining neonics and other things with the dicot to kill, like, trying to kill larvae and other things.
Oh, wow.
They're killing the brown trout, the pike, the muskie, the fish that are usually the least susceptible to direct contact with the dicot. These blends, these proprietary blends, so to speak, are killing fish that they would have never thought to have
Wow.
been an issue. And these are people that 8 years ago, 10 years ago were like, hey, let's spray the lakes. And they're finally like, okay, we got a problem here. And if you look at the bills, you pull up the bills on the Connecticut website for the General Assembly, all those bills that if you look up the public testimony, it's like 99-1 opposed, and these bills still passed. It's mind-boggling.
Mm.
And no matter what data you present these people, they do not care what the data says. They just want to spray chemicals. I don't get it.
Go ahead, Thomas.
So I'm gonna try to keep this. Guys, I'll go back onto my channel. I'll do a whole vent session so I don't get Brian's channel in trouble here, because like this just it ticks me off. Until the people that are listening, until your dog dies, until your son dies, until your daughter and your grandma dies from drinking this water, until there's a massive issue, no one's gonna care. We're gonna dump chemicals because what people want is a pool. They don't want the outdoors, because you stupid people listening are the ones that'll buy a house next to the national forest and be like, there are too many trees. Let me clear cut the damn forest I moved to. Go back to New York into your little hellhole and live there. Could you leave the outdoors for us? Every time nature's like, oh, the water's crap, here's some hydrilla. We want to get rid of that. Oh, here's some zebra mussels to clean up the water. Nah, forget that. Let's just put chlorine and put all this other stuff into the water. And then we're going to complain. It's like, oh, it's so weird. I have an E. coli outbreak in our water. What do you think will happen? Like this idea, again, there's a Jurassic Park movie out right now. Life finds a way. And these grasses, are they invasive? Well, that's a semantic issue. We can go down a rabbit hole about invasive, because technically we're invasive. The grass in your lawn is technically invasive. It's not really native grass to the United States. So we can go down that. So the semantic is invasive is basically what I don't like. Once you can label it what I don't like, we can kill it. That's basically what it is. And this campaign of killing grass, because it's actually grass, SAV, it's not a weed. Please stop calling it a weed. That's a negative stereotype they put in the media so that you then think that we should just get rid of this thing. This is the filtration system of Mother Nature. And what is so crazy is you ask Susan, can I spray the grass in your lake? They will say, yes, it's a problem. But if you take that exact same grass and put it in the Gulf of Mexico, because Flipper and the dolphins need it, and you say, can I spray this grass? They're like, no, that grass is important for the ecosystem. And it's like, woman, it's the same grass. I just basically flip-flop the location it's in. But Susan's upset because Flipper is there. Well, what about this lake? What about Okeechobee or Gunnersville or up in Connecticut? It's mind-boggling, this mindset. But until we reach a point of absolute lunacy where the whole lake is on fire or dead, no one will care, because someone's making money, and it's a shame.
We had the issue back when I had presented the petition that I created to legislatures. There was a homeowner on Lake Zor who, because the chemical companies, they never post signage, they never notify the public, they never do anything they're supposed to do. So like you could go swimming tomorrow in a lake that was nuked and not know. There's a guy with a dog, and he would throw his tennis ball down off his back porch. It'd bounce down the dock and go in the water. The dog would run down the dock, jump in the water, grab the tennis ball, swim back, and he'd repeat, play fetch with his dog, right? There's one day he's playing fetch with his dog. He throws the ball, bounces in the water. It's like the third time, and the dog doesn't start swimming back. He runs, jumps in the water, gets the dog. The dog ends up dying, right? The dog had developed gastroenteritis. Gastroenteritis is, come to find out, is a huge problem along the Housatonic River system. What's on the Housatonic River system? Lake Zor, Lake Loanona. So we got a problem right there. Dogs are contracting gastroenteritis from coming into contact with dicot. This dog apparently died as also from like a respiratory kind of impairment because of the fumes from the chemicals.
Yeah, the chemicals.
So I don't know. That was brought up in a huge thing where there was the first selectman of Brookfield, numerous people from the DEP for the state of Connecticut. I mean, come on, we got dogs getting impaired by this and dying. And nobody cares.
Yeah, and you look down at what happened in the St. Lawrence River. I had a great episode in February with the Mighty River Recovery people who are trying to put grass back because all the grass got wiped out. They kept spraying because in Florida they spray by the gallon. It's a a private contractor that goes down there and just sprays everything humanly possible because everyone from New York flies down there and they want it to be like a swimming pool. Potomac River the same thing. Smith Mountain like the same thing. Lake Anna, grass started to come back, fishing improved, and now they're trying to eradicate all the grass. It's just, and people are trying to spray, allegedly, this is private, not safe, they're trying to spray the Potomac River. And it's like, that's technically federally illegal because, like I mentioned earlier, that is part of the Chesapeake Bay. You can't spray grass fields that are associated with the Chesapeake Bay, but they're doing it anyway. So it's a cultural issue that if you really want to change this, you need to have the commercials and start teaching people that grass is important. Because if Shark Week could tell Susan that you can go swimming with a great white because it's no problem, let's do that same thing with the grass to teach people like, hey, listen, this is God's natural filtration system. We kind of need that because Lord knows our places are completely disgusting. And I think it's mesmerizing that people are like, we got to get rid of the zebra mussels. The Great Lakes are the healthiest they have ever been when it comes to water quality. Like that place used to be on fire, literally on fire near the Ford factory, and the river would run the color that they were painting the fire trucks. That happened on the Hudson River, and that happened up in the Great Lakes. And you're going to tell me like, well, yeah, this zebra mussel is the most threatening thing. It's like, yeah, it costs you a little bit of money, but look at how clean the water is now. So Odenkirk came on the show, a really, really beloved biologist. He said, like, not all invasive species are created equally. You can't say that the Asian carp is the same thing as hydrilla. And that's true. And again, is it invasive? Yes. Is it a necessarily evil? I think so. I really do. It keeps the waterways clean for better or worse. But again, what is the price you put on a dock? And what do you believe when you buy a property on the water, what you're getting out of that? Are you getting a swimming pool? If that's the case, I think you're misled, in my opinion. But
I don't know if you guys know about the situation with Candlewood. But I'll enlighten the listeners. Candlewood Lake's great fishery, used to be even better. A lot of people wanted to get rid of the weeds or the grass on Candlewood, namely the milfoil. There's a couple other species of grass too that grew on Candlewood. But the people that live on Candlewood actually were against the spraying. So they were actually on our side. But the state decided to be like, okay, we're going to just step in and just do it this way. So they had a study done on putting grass carp in. Whatever the acreage is, the calculation is based on, the depth range that the grass can actually grow. Called for 300, 350 grass carp. So they decided to put in 3,500 grass carp. They waited a couple weeks, a month or so, didn't see the results they wanted. They put another 3,500 grass carp in.
Wow.
So this is a fishery that they were very scared about zebra mussels getting into. Every reservoir study, if you look at like public drinking water, look at any study for public drinking water, like reservoir management, you can't destroy the grass. Whatever kind of grass is in there, it has to like stay that way. They could control algae and algae blooms and stuff like that with copper sulfate. That's one thing, but you can't control the grass. You kind of have to leave it stabilized. So every study tells you this is what's going to happen. It's going to change the calcium content of the water, allowing what to flourish? Zebra mussels. There's so many zebra mussels in Candlewood now because there's not a strand of grass that they've even tried to reintroduce milfoil to Candlewood, and they
Wow.
can't get it to grow because the calcium content is completely changed.
I think this is a really, again, life finds a way. The
Yeah.
grass is there to try to filter and clean the water. When the
Yep.
grass gets neutralized, what happens? The zebra mussels are then allowed to flourish. And what will the zebra mussels do if you leave them? They'll clean out the water. And so
Yeah.
it's interesting, a separate topic of how there's this weird like life finds a way thing where like the universe is trying to clean out this lake and we're getting in the way of it. Because clearly what we're doing is, if what we were doing was correct, there would be better homeostasis, but there's not. So why can't we understand the fault that we're having in this? I don't know. Not trying to get all hippie with it, but that's just fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So, guys, Dave, like I said, we appreciate Dave coming on and talking about this tonight. But yeah, I mean, I know Thomas is going to have Dave on later in the week, and they're going to go a lot more in depth on this.
Very sporty.
Really in depth on this topic. But we thought we'd get the ball rolling tonight, so you guys can think about it. Make some comments, please, under this show, whether you watch it on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcast. We really need to pay attention to this and what's going on. We got some news about some things changing on Smith Mountain Lake. We haven't really dove into that yet. That will probably be later. Yeah, there's some things being built and some things happening. So it's been a little bit of information released, but not a whole lot of information released yet. So we're still waiting for some of that to come out. So, guys, we got to protect our waterways. We got to protect the fishing, and take care of. I mean, because like I said, tournament fishing now it's millions of dollars in it. I mean, millions, and you guys, millions and millions and millions of dollars now. But also for future generations, and we don't want to say on hippie again, but yeah, future generations. So we sound like Jennifer or something.
I just want to say something quick to anybody listening at home. I may not be the perfect person to relay the message on this invasive species, let's kill milfoil hydrilla deal, but it's pretty much common sense. Toxic chemicals in the water you're fishing, swimming in, whatever the case is, your recreational use for the water, there's no place for toxic chemicals. Period. Just want to leave it at that.
All right, guys. So, Dave, really appreciate you coming on, getting the ball rolling on this topic tonight. And like I said, Thomas, you guys make sure you catch the Fishing DMV episode. Dave and Thomas are going to hit this topic a whole lot harder and dive deeper into it. But we really would like to get your comments. Post your comments under the show. Thomas will use them. If you guys got questions or whatever, they can kind of prep for the show. So I know you guys are going to record, you guys are going to record soon, aren't you?
Yes, but as you guys know, I have about 15 episodes backlogged because I keep recording, but I can't keep posting. So it'll come out eventually.
It'll come out eventually. So it's going to be, and like I said, we don't mind revisiting the topic again, to be honest, because so many lakes are doing it. And, Thomas posted a video yesterday, 2 days. So it'd be about 5 days ago by the time this goes up. But Thomas posted a video. So, and we've talked about it. I can't remember what we did. I can't remember if Dave was on or if we had another show where we talked about, what the heck was going on in some of the waterways. So, guys, pay attention to what's going on. Contact your, I don't know who Dave, you said you're a congressperson, congressman or woman.
You can, whatever state you're in, you could contact your DNR.
Okay.
Like here in Connecticut is the DEEP. You could contact them. For us, it's the pesticides division, and you could actually, it's public information. You can call and request for, if you want to see if your lake that you fish is being sprayed, you can get that information. Be like, hey, are there any active permits for diquat spraying? Are they spraying for the milfoil? Are they spraying for hydrilla? Are they manually removing water chestnut? Whatever the case is, you can get some type of information or permit number. They'll contact you, or they'll get back to you with the permit.
That's awesome.
I've been able to do that, call the state of Connecticut, DEP, and they're just like, yeah, here it is. What's your email? And send it out to me. So I've been able to find, various permits that you wouldn't even think for lakes that you wouldn't even know were getting sprayed. Little like honey hole lakes that we have here in Connecticut, they're getting nuked, and there's no public notification. Nobody knows. There's no, hey, should we spray this lake? No input whatsoever. Just in the middle of the night, these permits are getting automatically approved, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
All right. So, like I said, reach out, find out what's going on in your local body of water. Keep up to date with that. Like I said, make sure you guys check out Thomas's show. Again, we appreciate everyone for listening tonight. It's kind of a hard. I mean, the topic is just you guys don't want to hear about it because everybody wants the swimming pool, like Thomas was talking about. But this topic is really, I mean, it's big. I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and it affects everything. I mean, from tournament fishing to just fish that you would eat, that you fish for out of your local bodies of water. So I mean, it affects all of it.
It does, and I think it's interesting because as we shoot this right now, it's around the 4th of July, and we have this interesting symbol for America, which is the bald eagle. And I don't think a lot of people realize that at one point it was an endangered species. And the reason it was endangered is because of pesticides and herbicides that were being sprayed in the area that limited its ability to reproduce. It killed its infants, and that was because of the herbicides and pesticides sprayed. And what we don't understand when we do this stuff is there's a delayed effect, basically say a delayed mortality, where the issues we see now, they won't come up necessarily right now. I mean, it really stinks for that individual who lost their dog, but how many people will have issues in 10, 15, 20 years? And big pharma or the pesticides companies will just be like, whoopsie, we're sorry. And we've experienced this before, and it sounds like history is repeating itself.
I hear commercials all the time regarding class action lawsuits against Roundup, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, 10, 12 years from now, there might be class action lawsuits against whatever the parent company is of the chemicals.
All right. Again, pay attention, people. Keep in touch. Learn what's going on around you. And like I said, if you are, a dedicated tournament fisherman, I know we've had Chad Green on our show many times. And Chad Green is in depth with the Virginia Game and Fish. He is, and you guys know, he's like really, really, I mean, he's passionate, big freaking time. So, I mean, pay attention to what Chad Green's got going on. I know Chad just started a brand new YouTube channel, and he'll help keep us up to date with what's happening on Smith Mile Lake, stockings, etc. But, and Dave, what's you're pretty strong on LinkedIn, and you're pretty strong on Instagram. Throw out your social media. That way people can follow you and follow the progression of what's happening.
Yeah, guys, you want to follow me on social media, check me out on Instagram at Dave Miller Fishing, and also check out davemillerfishing.com. If you're interested in a guided trip, feel free to reach out to me through the website. All the rates and everything are up there. Love to take you fishing. Outside of that, LinkedIn, Dave Miller. There you go.
There you go. Thomas, anything else you want to wrap up tonight, brother?
You guys know the deal. Check me out, Fishing in DMV. We got pump episodes out all the time. Would love to have you.
How's the Patreon looking, by the way?
Guys, we got one more member, actually. We have one more spot left before I shut that down. I'm going to be raising some rates up since I've been well below, because Apple is fantastic with their charging anything in their app store with a 30% kick that they want to take for any purchases on Apple products. So we got one more member. You get to be grandfathered in at a very cheap rate, $6 a month, which is basically a pack of Cincos or a jackhammer chatterbait. And you get to pay my mortgage because Papa Elon Musk made me unemployed. So as I look for a day job, I just want to thank all my Patreon supporters that keeps me from being homeless.
Guys, we're gonna, he is pumping out the episodes. You guys need to make sure you watch, listen, the whole 9 yards. It helps more than you can believe. Follow, make comments, especially like iTunes and any other place that you listen, because the comments you make there, all comments help with algorithms. I know some of you guys might know what that is, some of you might not. It is what it is. But make a comment. Hey, great show. Hey, great episode. You ain't got to write a book. You can write like 4 words. And if 25 of you guys do that, and that includes us as well, if just a couple of you guys make some comments, it sends it to the top of the list where everybody gets to see it. The videos, the shows, everything. And it helps spread the word out there, which helps Thomas in the end. So, guys, make sure you reach out and listen. Again, appreciate you guys all listening. Bass Geek will be at ICAST next week. So we're going to have another guest on, probably me and Thomas again, or me and Thomas will just rap either way. But when Bass Geek gets back, we're going to poke his brain and hopefully have some photos so you guys can see of what's happened at ICAST. Also, again, like Thomas was saying earlier, and I want to finish here, make sure you guys check him out for the live from ICAST with Jake's Bait and Tackle. So have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you all again next week right here on Basscast Radio.